Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another modern video. Today's video is sponsored by Bowtie Writer on Twitter, who was the person who made me my nice little do-do-do-do-do intro thingy. So today we are going to be playing some Black-White Aristocrats. And in case you're not familiar with the general strategy, Aristocrats refers to a strategy where you play a bunch of creatures that have some sort of effect when they die, and then you play sacrifice outlets to go and get a lot of value out of them. The name comes from Falconwrath Aristocrat, which was a very powerful standard deck of, oh geez, maybe about 6 years past now at this point. So the original deck list that Bowtie Rider gave me had green in it. And I sat down and I looked at the list and I went, hey, can we move this to two colors? And I started digging through some other Aristocrats deck lists and started trying to find some stuff on my own. And I found Cruel Celebrant, which was yet another way to drain. So we have Blood Artist and Zulaport Cutthroat and Cruel Celebrant that all basically have the ability whenever a creature I control dies, each opponent loses a life and I gain a life. So the idea is to put creatures like Doomed Traveler, Garrison Cat, and Hunted Witness that all give you another creature when they die into play, and then sack them with things like Carrion Feeder, Hidden Stockpile, which also gives you another token back, and one thing that I added to the deck was Priest of the Forgotten Gods. This was a card that saw a lot of play in Historic, in sort of like the Cat Oven style decks. You can sacrifice two other creatures, and then any number of target players each lose 2 life and sacrifice a creature, and then you get to draw a card and get 2 black mana. So this is a way to kind of keep the gas flowing. The original deck list I got had both Return to the Ranks, and I think the other one was called Plumb the Depths, as sort of sorcery speed ways to really get card advantage. And I thought just having another creature effect would be a great way to make sure I have enough things to be stacking. And at the end of the day, this does have power and toughness, right? Like it can get into the red zone. You don't need to do that much damage before you can just fire the laser, so to speak, and try to kill your opponent. The other thing I did was I added Luris to this deck because somehow this card is still legal in Modern? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And I get to just bring back all of these creatures come the late game. So I thought that by adding Luris, it was okay to remove Plumb the Depths. My sideboard is pretty targeted. I'm adding Auriok Champion to make sure I don't lose to the aggressive decks. I think if I get going, I will just have enough life gain in this deck where some of the Is It Blitz style decks, will get brick walled by what I have going on, and I can just drain them out. And then I have 4 cards for the affinity matchup, Kataki and Stony Silence. Maybe I need more. I don't know exactly how popular the affinity style decks are going to be. I figured 4 was a safe starting point. Maybe it should be more than that. And then I have a few Thoughtseizes and Path to Exiles to go and round things out. I'm not sure if Path to Exile should be Fatal Push, but I've been seeing a decent amount of Murktide Regent in Legacy, and if that sort of thing is going to be appearing in Modern too, the flexibility of Path seems good here. I'm really excited to try this out. I've put together an okay mana base here. The one land I'm not sure about is the Shambling Vent. In theory, like the idea of having a manland, but this enters play tapped, and I want to be casting stuff. I'm not sure if that's actually okay. I think the rest of what I have is fine. Anyway, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. We're doing Magic content 7 days a week, mostly Legacy, a little bit of Modern and Vintage as well. And if you are subscribed already, please throw me a like on the video. It's one of the easiest ways to support my content. All right, let's battle. Okay, for round 1, we are playing a Luris Mirror. I have a hand with a sacrificable thing, a thing that gives me value when I sacrifice, and a sack outlet. So I'm guessing that means that this is a keep. Let's just start out on basic lands and grab a basic plains with this. Oh yeah, I remembered to switch out the Plains art for my preferred art. He's starting off strong. Okay, Watery Grave from the opponent. But that's it. Let's, I guess, just play this pre-combat. I don't know exactly what I'm playing against. I'm not familiar enough with Modern to know what untapped Watery Grave is supposed to signify here. Okay, Fatal Push. We get a drain for 1. We still have Doom Traveler Hidden Stockpile, which can, like, start to do some work and grind things out. Obero? Are we playing against Mill? Oh, we're playing against Mill. That, like, fuels things for my Lurrus, which I guess is cool. Alright, Cruel Celebrant. Alright, what's the exact wording on this? Permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn. Make a servo. Cool. I don't know how quickly the Mill deck actually kills, but I'm going to assume that if I can avoid milling some cards with this, I probably should. So let's play this land and crash in for 1. The next turn I can start doing hidden stockpile shenanigans. Field of Ruin, that forces a search for archive trap based reasons. Yup. That sure is a lot of mill. I'm a little worried here. I believe my life total is not super relevant, so I'm going to grab a Godless Shrine and just pay the life for it, so I don't have to mill extra cards with Mesmeric Orb. Just saying a return to the ranks would be pretty sick. I think I need this. And I probably need the hidden stockpile too, unfortunately. And then at that point, I'll have my engine going. And hopefully that's good. I won't need to do that much damage to just drain out my opponent. Surgical extraction on my return to the ranks. Damn. Of note, I think the modern mill deck will probably be scary after the new card gets printed. I think it's Tasha's something voice, where it mills an absolute crap ton of cards and they get exiled. What is Fractured Sanity? Is that the 14? Yeah, that's the 14. Alright, Fatal Push. That gets 2 triggers here. That drains my opponent to 11. I'll get to attack for 2. Oh god. My library. The Cutthroat's a good draw. Alright, so let's attack here. That's my opponent to 9. So I can hidden stockpile, paying 1. Sacrifice this. Put a bunch of triggers on the stack. Always yield to you. Ooh. Opponent gets a swamp. Kind of a cool looking swamp. And let's always yield to you. Yeah, you can go on top. Now, I get my revolt trigger. And I'll be able to sack again and get a revolt trigger on my opponent's turn. And then I think I kill my opponent in my upkeep. So I don't have to worry about getting milled out. I guess that means I should put an upkeep stop on my turn. Yep. Alright, Prismatic Vista from the opponent. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, about my opponent being dead immediately. That is not happening. I was not expecting that. 54. I guess I can't really, like, tap this anymore, huh? Like, I can get 2 triggers, but I'm much more worried about just dying to Mesmeric Orb than anything else right now. Okay, how do I win this? I win this by just attacking for 4-ish damage a billion times. Yikes. Like, I have 14 cards remaining in library. Yeah, this is bad. Okay, I think I am just going to attack and pass the turn. I think that that life gain spell was just too much for me. Like, I could do a lot of damage, but I can't do this amount of damage before Mesmeric Orbs kill me, unless I play just hyper conservatively. Alright, my opponent is fetching. I mill 14. Okay. Yep. Damn. That Crypt Incursion was devastating. Unfortunately, I don't have too much for mill. I guess I'll Thoughtseize my opponent. Turn to the ranks is pretty sick. What is coming out here? Blood Artist itself doesn't have power and toughness. It could be that. It could also just be something like the Priest of the Forgotten Gods that requires me to sacrifice multiple creatures, since my opponent is playing a bunch of things like Fatal Push. Yeah, let's try this. I don't think I'm going to bring in Path to Exile to try to interact with crabs. Okay, so I've kept my hand here, and I can remove upkeep. Stop. I've kept my hand. It's got a decent mix of things that die and, you know, these enablers. I need a sacrifice outlet. I think I am just going to start on Thoughtseize rather than start on a 1-drop. I think there's not too much of a difference here between which one I do. But if I do this, I don't know what this card is. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you gain 1 life. Fuck me. That is oddly specific and hateful on my deck. Wow. Okay. I thought I was taking Ruin Crab when I looked at this hand, because that's their mill thing. I think I still need to take the crab. The crab is what wins them the game, but, like, damn, Profane Memento is very good against me. That's rough. Oh my god, that says from anywhere? That counts milling too? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Cool. I am not sure whether I'm supposed to play multiple 1-drops or a 2-drop this turn. I'm going to play multiple 1-drops. The logic being that I can probably 2-drop plus 1-drop next turn if I draw a land. So I want to... Alright, new crab. Oh god. I don't think I'm well equipped to beat this mill deck. Okay, that is a land. We'll fetch. I think I'm comfortable shocking myself. And go the Celebrant into Doomed Traveler. And I get pushed. Pain Memento is evil. And apologies, the noise gate I've got on is good, but it's not mower immediately next to my window good. Turn of the Ranks is really good. Okay. Alright, I guess I need to map this out. So, effectively, this is the starting mana, and then I can return 4 creatures. So I have 1, 2, 3. I only have 3 things that I want to target currently. I don't think I'm going to cast this yet. I can get sicker value off of this card by waiting. My opponent's doing something. The Drown in the Lock, that's fine. Pain Memento. Just absolutely impressive. Right, so I've seen this, I've seen this, I've seen this, seen this, seen that? Oh, okay, that's just mill. Okay, so I can do this for x equals 4 now. I think it is time. Let's go Celebrant, Cutthroat, Blood Artist, and a Hunted Witness. That's x is 4. Okay. White, 1, 2, 3. Return to the ranks. Alright, Field of Ruin me. I get a Plains. Ruin Crab does Ruin Crab stuff. Damn, a Carrion Feeder. Having the sack outlet would have been dope. A second Drown in the Lock. Savage. Alright, Visions of Beyond. That's the sort of thing I did not want my opponent to have. Alright. Say my opponent is quite far ahead at this point. They'll take 2 going to 23. Profane Memento is just absolutely dominating this game. Oh, another one. Alright. My cards are resolved. I need a sacrifice outlet. Well, really, I need multiple cards if I'm being honest. Mesmeric Orb. Oh no. And that's another 14 cards. Oh my god. How am I supposed to beat this deck? Like, it seems like this is the deck that has been metagamed to just destroy my happy Aristocrats deck. I have 9 cards remaining in library. I cannot play things here. I just need to pass the turn and try to 32 my opponent in a single turn at some point. Yeah, I can't even attack anymore. Oh, the third draw 3. I don't think I've ever been beaten so badly by a 1-mana artifact before. I've played against Sensei's Divining Top. Alright, alright. We're done. We're done. Enough of this. Okay, round 2, I can start on a Carrion Feeder, then I have like Garrison Cat, Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I have something that can bring them back. I don't think this hand is perfect, but I'll be keeping it. So what land am I leading on? Am I just leading on the Godless Shrine? I think I'm 100% shocking myself at some point in this game. I'm going to go ahead and do that now then. Go Gadget, Carrion Feeder. And actually get pretty big quickly, especially if I draw another 1-drop. Stomping Ground. And pass. Okay. So, I think this is a Shambling Vent and Garrison Cat turn. Alright, so Garrison Cat resolves. I will sacrifice it. And make Carrion Feeder a 2/2 immediately. And I think I'll wait from there, because like return to the ranks, it's nice if you have more creatures available. I think I'll just battle in for 2. Alright, Wooded Foothills. Team Vents. Renin 6. Alright. They get to return a land. I will be able to kill this on my turn, at some cost to myself. Not that bad of a cost, because of Hunted Witness. Alright, so I get to play Priest, and then Hunted Witness, Carrion Feeders, sack Hunted Witness, and I think I'll just kill Renin 6 with these 2 this turn. It's possible I'm supposed to sacrifice the Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Maybe I actually sacrifice the Priest of the Forgotten Gods this turn. Just intend on bringing it back with Return to the Ranks in a bit. This kills Renin 6 on its own now, and I also get to push some damage. Alright, opponent's at 14. I have 6 power on board, and what is effectively a draw 3 in the tank. Sacred Foundry. Alright, all the colors over there. Now, Teferi is a bit of a beating. The Carrion Feeder gets bounced here. That's fine. Like, I'll kill Teferi. I can return to ranks for X equals 2 this turn, which is probably good enough. Or I can do it for X equals 3 if I don't attack for 1 damage. That's probably better. Alright, attack Teferi. Goodbye, Teferi. So, Carrion Feeder is effectively free because of return to ranks. I guess I'll fetch out a basic plains here. Alright, return to the ranks for 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yo, we're doing the thing. Sick. Am I supposed to sacrifice 4 things to Carrion Feeder now to play around Lightning Bolt? I don't think I'm gonna do that. New Renin 6. Sure. That's fine. Yeah, get your land back. I have approximately a billion D damage showing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can make it 7, 8, 9, 10. Guess let's go ahead and do this. If I draw a sacrifice outlet, I just have like so beyond lethal anyway. Or not a sacrifice outlet, a drainer. I think that also just represents lethal. Let's play my cat. Fetch. Really matter what I get at this stage of the game. I'm just not going to take damage. Activate Ye Old Shambling Vent. And I will attack on in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Garrison Cat will be the 11th point of damage. Okay. Oh, that's super neat. Surprise blocker off a fetch land. That's fine. That's a lot of damage. Opponent is at 3. They will need a sweeper, and then like there's still Shambling Vent too. I don't know exactly. I mean, they're in a billion colors. They could have anything. Time Warp. Sure. Yeah, they're just getting lands back. Growth Spiral. Sure. I don't, yeah. I'm going to assume that Auriok champions are acceptable in this matchup. Like, I'm going to assume that my opponent has some amount of red removal. I don't know. Maybe I don't want this. Like, it might be a pain in the butt to remove, but it doesn't drain. I feel like Thoughtseize is punching a hole in my opponent's plans. Will be acceptable. And I feel like my opponent sacrificing creatures is not relevant. So I think I'm going to make this 4-for-4 swap and keep the rest of the core of my deck intact. Depending on what sort of removal I see from my opponent in the post-sideboard games, I may consider Auriok Champion just as something that's hard to kill. I do not believe that I get to keep one-landers with this deck. Yeah, this is fine. I'll throw back my second swamp here, I believe. Alright, Triome, Rug Triome. Alright, Cruel Celebrant is a fine draw. I think against this deck, my life total is not super relevant. So let's just play a Godless Shrine now. If something gets killed by Wrenn 6, I want it to be this. Alright, Wooded Foothills. The Sacred Foundry. Okay, sure. Oh, just gets a land back. Return to the Ranks is a fine draw. I think I'm just going with the Celebrant this turn. Alright, so we'll go Swamp into that. And now, am I planning on actually killing Wrenn 6 at any point in this game? Or am I just going to let that tick up? With the Zolapar Cutthroat specifically, I kind of want this gone, but I'm not going to be very good at killing this until Carrion Feeder is in play. I can attack it down to 3. It'll go back up to 4. I'll play Zolapar Cutthroat and Carrion Feeder. They'll minus down to 2. I think I will go ahead and poke this thing. I'm very happy to have a Return to the Ranks in my hand, by the way. I think it's pretty likely that I lose a good number of my creatures at some point to something like a Supreme Verdict. Alright, opponent doing the ramp thing. And I get lightning bolted. Oh. I'm gonna get like pathed too. Prismatic Ending. Oh, yikes. Okay. So I need to play around Wrenn 6 to the best of my ability. I just grab another Godless Shrine here. So am I just playing Carrion Feeder and Hunted Witness this turn? Yes. So I can actually get this tapped. Carrion Feeder, Hunted Witness. Opponent is at 14 already. Okay. They have gotten a Time Warp effect. They don't get to untap with that one. 1 damage to any target. So I sacrifice Hunted Witness. Alright, into Scalding Tarn. They just take their extra turn. They get a land back. Oh, cool. Dock. They have another Savor of the Moment. A Dwarven Mine. Okay. To Teferi. That's good. Yeah. Not much to be done about that. Okay. So, am I playing Zolaport Cutthroat? Am I doing Carrion Feeder shenanigans? Is my soldier trying to kill Teferi? I can cast Carrion Feeder and then do the thing for 2, which is pretty good. So I think I will go ahead and attack the Teferi. Alright. Go Gadget Lifelinking Soldier. My opponent, in my opinion, wisely does not block. Carrion Feeder. Return to Ranks for 2. Paying the Convoke. And I'll just pass the turn there. I have a good amount of damage available off of just like Cruel Celebrant drains. I might be able to just kill my opponent next turn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 on-board damage with draining currently. And I can turn that into 8 on-board damage with draining next turn. Alright, more dudes. Growth Spiral. 5 red mana. Destroy X target artifacts and/or creatures. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals cards from the top of their library. Oh, am I about to get like Platinum Imperiumed or something? Okay, let's see how bad this is. Ah. Okay. When this thing attacks, look at top 7. Cast an instant or sorcery. Oh no, without paying its mana cost. So I'm about to get time walked. Yikes. I need my opponent to miss on the time walk, and then I think I can kill them. Alright, let's see. It looks at 7 though. 7 is so many cards. Yeah, that's a time warp. Okay. Yeah. So close. Just like double check. 1, 2, 3, 4 drains. Doesn't do it. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I don't really feel like I want the Auriok champions. Like, my opponent does have some removal, but I think it's more important to just keep everything that's central to my strategy and try to bleed my opponent out quickly. Because when it comes to the end game, they've got me beat. This opening hand has no lands. This opening hand is fine. I will be keeping it. I don't think I want to take double silent clearing amounts of damage, so I'll keep 1 swamp. I think I'm just leading on Carrion Feeder here, but there's an argument for Garrison Cat. If I play Garrison Cat on 1, I can play Cruel Celebrant on 2. Carrion Feeder safely around like a Ren and 6 effect on 3. I think I'm going to do that rather than just jam the Carrion Feeder. So if I jam the Carrion Feeder, I really just want to play Garrison Cat on 2, and that's like an inefficient use of mana. My opponent also mulliganed once. Sacred Foundry into Prismatic Ending. That card is good. Alright, let's just play out one of these. It doesn't die to Ren and 6, which is good. Carrion Feeder currently dies to Ren and 6 unless I sacrifice something like good to it, which is not the best. And they do indeed have it. Okay. Now I can safely play Carrion Feeder, or I can just put Cruel Celebrant into play. I think I'm supposed to play the Carrion Feeder this turn, which means I'm doing this and this, and I can just play Godless Shrine tapped. I would not like to pay the life for it. And I'll attack Ren and 6. I'm hoping to kill that thing, because it just puts a weird amount of pressure on me. It's possible I should just go for the face and try to work towards Cruel Celebrant shenanigans. Just like double draining my opponent out. What are you getting off the fetch land? 2 damage to any target. Okay. Well, that's happening. I do get a couple of Cruel Celebrant triggers though. And it's likely that I get to kill the Ren and 6. Not 100%. Like, they do have a treasure token, but it's very likely. Alright, let's just go for the attack first. Get him? Okay, we got Ren and 6. The tree is dead. Do I want to return to the ranks? I don't think I want to return to the ranks. I think I just want to get my second drain effect into play. And then next turn I can go for return in the ranks for x equals 2 and probably kill my opponent. I haven't mapped it out yet. Alright, Steam Vents untapped. Into that stuff. Okay. Oh, it's just Olamog. Are you dead? I think you're dead. I think I cast Cruel Celebrant, and then I get a return to the ranks for x equals 2, and I can drain you out for 10. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, nice. We won the match with an Eldrazi on board. God, that return to the ranks card is really fun. GG's. Alrighty, round 3. I have mana. I don't have anything that produces extra bodies, but I think I'm still gonna keep this hand. Like, Hidden Stockpile can technically do it if we're in a pinch. Oh no. It begins. The Urza's Saga. Oh, okay, that's quite good. Okay, what's my curve? Turn 1 Carrion Feeder, turn 2 Celebrant or Priest. I wonder if this is a Priest hand and I need to use the Priest to make them sacrifice a token. It's like, I have to think about this ahead of time because it's the question of like, am I taking 1 point of damage off my land this turn? The Carrion Feeder can't block. I can't just make something bigger than these constructs. I think my turn 2 play is probably Priest. I think I am at least somewhat likely to try to play a controlling role here. I just don't think I'm going to be able to do Carrion beat down through construct tokens very easily. Floor? Okay. That's not a construct. Yeah, sure. Alright. At. I think I... Oh, this is... We're probably playing against an Amulet deck, actually. Now that I've seen these. And this is just going to get that, what is it, Amulet of Vigor? And do the thing that way. I guess if Primeval Titan is something that could be in my future, I still want to play this. But it, maybe not the best, especially if they just end up making a construct on the way out. Okay, so my opponent floats the mana. Okay, we are indeed playing against Amulet. And things can get real scary here. In case you're not familiar with this card for my Legacy viewers, whenever a permanent enters the battlefield tapped under your control, untap it, which is pretty gross with bounce lands. My opponent has another Dryad, which means they can play another land. Okay. All in all, that was not the end of the world. I really wish I had another land. I am in fact going to try and draw one. I'm going to go ahead and play a Garrison Cat. Alright, I target you. Okay. Sacrifice 2 creatures. And I will get 2 critters out of this, and then my opponent will lose one of their Dryads, and I'll get some mana and draw a card. Alright, I did not succeed in hitting a land, but at least I can play a Blood Artist and a Carrion Feeder this turn. I can drain for a lot next turn, but I think I probably need to be trying to keep the board under control. Oh no. Am I just gonna run into Primeval Titan immediately? That's Primeval Titan. That's bad news. So this could get Boros, Garrison, and Slayers. Oh no, we're just Valakutting. And the Primeval Titan will have haste. Okay. Yep. Alright, those triggers are just going at my face. So that brings me down to 11. I believe I am just dead. Haven't done the math for whether or not I can survive with sacrificing my own critters yet. I think the answer is no. Like, I can gain 4, that only puts me to 15. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, yeah. Alright. Okay. That was impressive. I mean, I would have probably killed on my turn, I think, if I drew a land. Yeah, I think that ends up being a kill. So, yikes. Okay. Thought Seizes are probably good here. Path to Exile is a little awkward, but I'll probably play it. Go for 6 cards here, which is a lot. This will be the most I've sideboarded. Alright. I think I want to keep Priest. I think I want to be able to make my opponent sacrifice their Dryads and Primeval Titans. So Blood Artist is the one of these that does not have power and toughness. So that one is going to go out. I think I will trim on a hidden stockpile and then maybe one drop. You fly. You're just a human soldier, and these ones have lifelink, right? Okay, so Garrison Cat is the worst of these. Let's try this. Okay, opening hand is fine. I think I will lead on Prismatic Vista into Thoughtseize. I think it's okay for this to be a black source because I already have white for presumably what is going to happen on turn 3. Alright, what do you have? A Summoner's Pact or a Grazer? I think I'll plan on killing Grazer with Priest. They'll get 1 extra land drop out of it, but I'm just going to take the Summoner's Pact here. Alright, so this will be Forest Grazer. Bring the Urza Saga into play. Alright, then we go Plains, Priest. And next turn I can double Hunted Witness and then activate Priest. I guess my opponent could make a construct in order to protect. No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, Cavern. I mean, if they have nothing else to do with their mana, they will make a construct, and I'll just eat Arboreal Grazer. Oh, they have a Dryad and a Valakut. Shit. Thought removal spell would be grand. Return to the ranks. Okay. So let's go one of you, two of you, sacrifice, target you. Okay, hold on. Sacrifice, target you. Okay, sacrifice these. And I'll get my 2 Duders. By Arboreal Grazer. Did not hit the sort of thing I was hoping to hit there. So I guess I will play a new priest. Then I can return these to the ranks and build my board back up. Next turn I can double sack stuff, which is super cool. But bad things can happen to me this turn. Well, it's floating a bunch of mana here before Urza Saga. They're floating giant mana. I don't think I need to tell you that that is bad for me. So that's up to 6. Primeval Titan. All right. Summoner's Pact. Yep, okay. That's bad. So I'll lose, if I'm not just dead, I'll lose my priests to these triggers. All right, that's 4 Valakut triggers. That's 12 damage. So that's probably... Oh shit, nope, it's Anowar as well. Yeah, I am just dead. In both of these games, I've just been like half a turn cycle away. Oh wait, hold on, that did not... Oh no, they already used it. Okay. In both of these games, I've just been like half a turn cycle away from probably winning. Okay, that's approximately 1 billion Valakut triggers. I will go ahead and concede the game here. Like, we look at my next draw. Nope, I don't get to look at my next draw because Magic Online things. Alright, GG's opponent. Okay, I have kept a hand that does not have a sacrifice outlet yet, but otherwise has a pretty reasonable mix of enablers plus a drain thingy. Unclaimed territory, which probably means we are playing against humans. Human confirmed. Probably just a mana dork. Yep. Alright. So, we're going to play out a handful of creatures, and I will have great jump blocking options in a couple of turns here. Because I will be able to just jump block for days. I guess, like, what is it? Mantis Rider, I think is the name of it. Flies. That's something that could get around most of my jump block ability. Yeah. I am not worried about a Champion of the Parish with my deck. I'm also not worried about Athalia. I think we're going to probably line up pretty well against this deck. Alright, I need more white mana, so this absolutely needs to get a Plains. So then we'll go Cruel Celebrant. Actually, I want to play the ones that make flying tokens so that I can bash in with the flyers. Alright. Somewhat relevantly, my opponent has multiple pain lands here. Like, in this deck that is just meant to drain my opponent out. That seems just great. Okay. Reflector Mage is solid. That means that my opponent gets, like, a real attacking turn in. I will take a jump block here. I do not end up losing life this turn. Well, like, you know what I mean. It ends up being just fine for me in terms of life total. I don't take any damage because of these. Lol. Okay. So, I can't play the Doom Travelers this turn, but I can play 2 other creatures that are basically Doom Travelers with different names. And then I will poke with my Spirit. I believe my opponent will die on the spot if I draw a sacrifice outlet at any point. Okay, that's just cycling one of the pain lands. Because they can't really afford to tap them very many more times. They gonna do it again? Yeah, they did it again. Just gotta dig. Alright, what's next? Alright, new Reflector Mage. New Reflector Mage on Cruel Celebrant. Oh, just on the Spirit token. Okay. Here the attacks come in. One is lifelinky. Relevant. I think I just block 1. I think just blocking 1 is fine. Alright. So I get to drain my opponent twice and get a new creature. I again take no damage this turn. Oh, Carrion Feeder. Carrion Feeder is sick. Alright, Doom Traveler. Doom Traveler. Carrion Feeder. So each one of these things I sacrifice is 2. So that's 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. Very dead. Very, very, very dead. Okay, what do we like versus humans? Honestly, my deck seems pretty well geared to beat humans. I could Auriok Champion if I want to gain more life, but the protection's not relevant. I think I might submit the game 1 deck. Maybe board 2 Path to Exiles. I guess I'll board the 2 Path to Exiles. Like, sometimes a combination of things, like Reflector Mage plus Meddling Mage can be a little bit annoying. What do I want to trim? Not the 1-drops, they're very good. Get 1 Drain effect, and 1... Actually, Priest is kind of awkward here. Like, my opponent has a lot of bad creatures, and by bad creatures I mean things like Noble Hierarch, that they'll just be able to sacrifice. So it's card advantage, but I actually don't super love Priest here. Let's try this. Like, if Priest is just taking out a Noble Hierarch that has already produced mana and helped my opponent get further on board, I don't know that it's great. I guess I should also, like, pop out my Lurrus so I don't forget about it. This hand is fine. It takes a little bit more damage off its lands than I would like. But I think, like, a hand with a return to the ranks is probably very good on average. The Rainbow Land into Hierarch. Oh, Plains is actually a pretty good draw. That means I don't have to take damage on turn 1. Let's go Doom Traveler first. Humans. Ripple White or Militia Bugler? My opponent gets a Thalia's Lieutenant. Guess I'll leave that popped out too. Okay, is this a double 1-drop turn or a Cutthroat turn? My opponent's only attacking with 1 creature in all likelihood next turn. I think I'll just play the Cutthroat off Godless Shrine. It's 2 damage up front now, but I would probably take more than that from Silent Clearing over the course of the rest of this game. Alright, basic land. No worries. Let's see how much shenanigans my opponent can get up to this turn. A new champion, or, well, a champion for this game, rather. Champion plus Thalia's Lieutenant provides a lot of power pretty quickly. Ooh, Esper Sentinel. I do have 6-ish. No, I forgot about the 2 mana sacrifice thingy. Okay, I do have some number of things that impacts. Okay, we will absolutely just block with Doom Traveler. I want creatures in my graveyard for return to ranks. Okay, so let's put these on the stack. Oh, right, I'm already F6'd. Oh, cool. Just play double 1-drop this turn. I don't think I need to start firing off return to the ranks yet. I will extract more value. Now it's Witness. I already played a land. I think I can attack for 1 in the air. I have 2 chump blockers. Yeah, 1 in the air is fine. That puts the opponent to 18. New Cavern. Okay, Skyclave's pretty good here. It takes out my Cutthroat and makes a lot of what I'm doing less efficient. Well, not less efficient, but, like, non-lethal, rather. You're not a human, by the way. Okay, a couple of triggers growing my opponent's creatures. I am starting to fall a little behind here. I still have Return to the Ranks, which is very, very, very good. And I do get 2 creatures here. Okay. Do I want to cycle Silent Clearing? I believe the answer is yes. Picking up Hidden Stockpile, which is great, but I can't cast it this turn. So I'll just get a cat now, unfortunately. And I think I'm just holding back my critters. I don't think I'm coming back from this one. Things can happen. Like, my deck can explode. Yeah, but that's the sort of thing I was worried about. Okay. So I absolutely block there. And I kind of want to double block this and get that body back. And I think I'll leave myself with 1 spirit. I think I like that. My opponent has a mid-combat trick. They have a mid-combat trick. No. Alright, I do take 1,000,000,000, though. Okay. So, I have 4 creatures in my graveyard. So this will be 7 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you get your card with Esper Sentinel. That's fine, but I need those bodies. Okay. My issue is currently that I kind of need 2 distinct cards. I need both a Sacrifice Outlet and a Way to Drain. I guess the Way to Drain on its own is pretty good. Alright. When it cycles the land. How many creatures are we bashing with? Are we just turning it all sideways? Yeah, that's fair. Alright. I think it's probably time to consider trading with some of these bodies. So this would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 incoming damage. Guess I need to soak up a little more of this. Let's do that. Take 5 here. And I will make a pile of critters. 4 happy little friends. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, can I live? I can play Hidden Stockpile with Athalia attacks, go down to 3, let them draw a card off Esper Sentinel, unfortunately. Okay, Hidden Stockpile, 3 mana, including the Thalia attacks, 1 mana and 1 life to activate it, gives me another body, and play a Shambling Vent tapped. Okay. Black. Yeah, take your card. I wonder if it was more important to remove the Esper Sentinel than the Thalia's Lieutenant, which was going to grow. Alright. New cycling land from the opponent. I assume is getting junked immediately. Alright, here comes something. Reflector Mage is real bad. Nope. Okay, Ether Vial. That is not scary. Okay, there's 3 incoming creatures. That's not bad. So let's put the Lifelinker in front of the boss. I can actually like realistically think about just trading with bodies here. Yeah, let's do that. Go like 1, 2, 3 creatures in front of here. That's 4. Take 2 from Thalia. I think that's fine. And because of Revolt, I will get to create a servo this turn. Okay. A permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn. Make a servo. Tokens not count as permanents? Guess tokens don't count. Okay. Alright. A Hunted Witness is not bad. I think I'm going to start by cycling this. Okay. Carrion Feeder is not exactly what I'm looking for at this stage of the game. It's not bad, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. Alright, do I want to put Luris into my hand? Do I want to just Hidden Stockpile? I think I want to activate Hidden Stockpile. Always yield to that. Always yield to that. Marsh Flats, that goes on bottom. Then I go land. I'm going to leave back all of my stuff because of things like Reflector Mage that could mess with my blocks. Alright, land from the opponent here. Alright, that's Reflector Mage. What is it targeting? It's targeting Carrion Feeder. I just want to sack that to Hidden Stockpile. That's probably fine. Like, I already have a Sacrifice Outlet in play, and I really just want to dig for something like a Return to the Ranks. The fact that Carrion Feeder can't block right now means that its utility is a little less limited than normal. Okay, I would like to trade with Esper Sentinel at this point, I think. So let's put 2 things in front of that. Need to chump block this. And then I can put 2 things in front of here and trade with this. Take 2. I go to 1 and I whittle down their board a bit. The Courtyard is not what I am looking for. Shambling Bent defensively is totally fine. I put Lurrus into my hand. Chump block, take 2. I can't put Lurrus into my hand this turn. I need the Shambling Vent this turn. But then hopefully the Shambling Vent gives me enough of a life buffer that'll just be okay. Alright, that's just a land. Ugh. Sorry about that. I'll make it to the microphone for that sneeze. Alright, so I will Shambling Vent and kill Thalia. And then I'll put the life linker here. I'll gain 3 life in this turn cycle, which means that I am not dead to this. I think the 1 life is more valuable than the scry, since I'm like just so close to stabilizing. Alright, I gain life up to 3. This is a slog. Alright. A Cruel Celebrant. Not bad. Is that better than Lurrus? I can play Cruel Celebrant and still hold up Shambling Vent. The Ether Vial means that the combat math isn't easy anymore, because all sorts of things can come down off of that and just like attack in for a little bit too much life. Cruel Celebrant is like so good to have in play. I think I need to leave up the Shambling Vent still. Alright, I'm gonna do just that. No attacks. Okay, nothing came in off of Ether Vial, which is great news for me. Okay, Skyclave Apparition is good. Will that take my hidden stockpile or my Cruel Celebrant? It takes my Celebrant. I do not have the mana to sacrifice that and still Shambling Vent. So I think I just let that go. Oh no, there's more. Phantasmal Image is very good here. Very, very, very good. That's targeting my Spirit token. So I am going to have to chump block with Shambling Vent this turn, which is unfortunate because that works away from the Lurrus plan. Okay. I believe the Reflector Mage was also supposed to come in this turn. That's 2 damage because I'm obligated to block this. Now the question is, like, which is more valuable, the 2 life or the scry? I think it's the 2 life again. Although, like, scrying and finding return to the ranks is just insane. Return 3 things, that buys so much time. Now, the 2 life is so valuable in a lot of circumstances, though, where I just, like, draw a jump blocker. Or that can happen. Okay, I can go 1, 2, 3, put Lurrus in hand. 1, 2, 3, play Lurrus, not be able to play anything from graveyard, chump block this, take 6, and go to 1 life after accounting for the silent clearing damage. I don't think that puts me in a position where I'm really winning. I'm going to go ahead and try to cycle this. It means that I can die some portion of the time, but gives me some better potential upside plays. A Cutthroat. And turn the Cutthroat into a servo. Go up to 6 life in doing so. Have a chump blocker for this. Take exactly 6 and die. Wow. That was crazy. Did not expect to stay in that game for nearly as long as I did. Alright, I feel pretty good that my evaluation of Priest of the Forgotten Gods was correct, kind of given how that game went and how many creatures my opponent had. What I'm thinking about currently is whether or not I want a couple of Auriok champions, because like that game went on for a long time. And I was mostly becoming more favored as the game went on. Like I ground through a lot of stuff. I think I'm going to take 2 of these out for 2 Auriok champions. I don't think I want to max out on that effect, but I don't mind having them. Okay. Hunted Witness into Blood Artist. I'll have a hidden stockpile. I'll have an Auriok champion and a return to the ranks. This hand is fine. Here we go. Apologies if you end up hearing this weed whacker that's going on outside. There is not much to be done about that. Alright, Vial from the opponent. What is more important for me to have in play early? Is it the champion or is it the Blood Artist? My stuff's not really dying in the next turn cycle, but stuff might start dying the following turn with hidden stockpile. I think there is value to putting the Blood Artist into play. The Auriok champion will still be fine later. And in the 1/1s. Alright, that's a champion. Ooh, opponent does not have more land. Cool. So let's go land, play hidden stockpile. Am I willing to attack in? The attack in can get a little weird. I think I'll just save Hunted Witness defensively. Alright, for sure. Why I didn't want to attack in. New champion. Not a problem. Alright, cycle land. I assume they're going to need to keep around for mana. Okay, that attack is showing me that they have something to put in off of Ether Vial. So I am just going to block the bigger one here. Not get baited. Yep. Ooh, an Auriok champion of your own, huh? Alright, well, this one is going to be a slog then. Alright, so let's save targets, always yield, and always yield to that, and always yield to that, and always yield to that. A Carrion Feeder. I already have a Sacrifice Outlet. I don't actually think I want that. And always yield to that. I'll take 2 damage here. Okay, this is a great turn for me. So let's play an Auriok champion. And a Cruel Celebrant. Everyone gets life all the time. Always yield to this one too. Always yes. I guess I don't need to attack. This token can just chill. Well, if I traded the token for this, that would be fine. Although I should have done that pre-combat if that was a plan. I don't mind trading bodies when I have the chance to trade bodies because I have this return to the ranks and this hidden stockpile. So I want to go into positions where I can trade when possible. Alright, Vial activation. Militia Bugler. And a bunch of creatures get bigger and people get some life. Getting a Phantasmal Image. This could get a little silly. Oh, it's a Reflector Mage. Sure. My Blood Artist is going to floop out of play for a minute. Everything gets bigger, people get life. Those creatures are bashing in. I think I take this hit rather than chump block. But it's close. On my turn, I play Blood Artist. I don't think I want to cash in this return to the ranks quite yet. 5 damage is a lot of damage. I think I'm just going to take it, though. I'll be chump blocking for the same amount or maybe more on the following turn. Doom Trap. Oh, right, I can't play the Blood Artist this turn. That's a thing. Do I want to cycle Silent Clearing? Sure. A Cutthroat. Is that better than Doomed Traveler this turn cycle? Probably not. Like, because I can play Doomed Traveler and then sack it to Hidden Stockpile. And the whole life gain thing happens. It's going to continue to happen. It's going to happen so much. Alright. So now I get a servo. And the life gain occurreth. I'm also catching up on clock. Which is good, because I used a lot of time trying to stay alive in game 2. Perhaps too much time, but whatever. Okay, Thalia's Lieutenant is a huge boon for them. That's so much power. Let's always yield to that in case there's another one. Okay. So the easy play is Doom Traveler goes right there. And thinking about return to the ranks, it might be correct to just like junk another creature here. Yeah, let's junk one more creature. Do something like that. Get a Scry out of Hidden Stockpile here. I haven't always yielded to these things yet. Hidden Stockpile looks at an Auriok champion. That's not bad. Probably an above average draw. I will keep that. Okay. Let's play this. Now I can return to the ranks for X equals 3. Is that enough? Probably okay. Go ahead and do that. Let's go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this represents a lot of life. Both like just literally from the Auriok champions coming into play and effectively from just chump blocking to Champion of the Parishes. Oh my god, the triggers. Always yes. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts. I might just have a kill in the not too distant future if I can get both Blood Artist and Zolaport Cutthroat into play. But that's still a few turns away. I'm actually starting to think that the most likely outcome of this is that I time out my opponent because they can't kill me. I just gained so much life. Here we go. They got something. They don't have something? They do have something. Friend, I hate to tell you, but you do not have the time to, like, be tapping and untapping lands that many times. Like, you have to figure out a plan. This is not going to be a short game. Okay, they've cycled Horizon Canopy. Alright, Phantasmal Image. What's your approach? You're gonna take an Auriok Champion? You're gonna take a Reflector Mage? Yeah, you're gonna take an Auriok Champion. That's fine. This is you're just going to be an absolute mess of triggers on the stack. Yeah, I don't think you can attack in with your Auriok Champion. You can't afford to lose that card. I will go chump blocks on the large critters, and I'll take the hits from the smaller ones. I do have to place these triggers on the stack, which eats up a little bit of clock, but that's whatever. Oh, man. This is comic. I will shock here, because I think having these in play is just very strong. I have a servo, just by the way, from Hidden Stockpile. Because I had 2 permanents leave the battlefield this turn. That turn cycle, rather. Yeah, because I had Hunted Witness and Doomed Traveler leave the battlefield. I don't know the exact wording of Revolt well enough. Like, does Hidden Stockpile only work if you sacrifice the thing to it? I obviously don't have time to figure that out now, but Hidden Stockpile might be bugged. Okay, Sanctifier Invec. For sure. Not thinking about it too much. Let's throw a creature here and take 7. Oh god, I have to manually place these on this stack. Okay. Yeah, I think Hidden Stockpile might be bugged. Alright, let's just sacrifice one of these things and trigger a servo. You're fine. I really just want to find things that keep me alive longer. Yeah, more and more I am finding the likely conclusion to this game is timeout for one of us. You crashing in with his Auriok champions? Yeah, that doesn't seem smart. Alright, so let's block with Spirit. Block with Spirit. Block with Spirit. A1. Sacrifice this. That goes on the bottom. A1. Sacrifice this. That goes on the bottom. I don't like clicking through this. This takes so much time. I think it is correct too. That goes on the bottom. And I'll have 6 for the rest. That's great. A stack. I'm not sure that I get to scry anymore. Like, just in terms of the amount of clock that it's taking. Like, the game client is starting to lag for both of us. So many triggers. Yeah, I think I'm at the point if I want to win by timeout, I can't scry anymore. I'm going to go ahead and F6. Billion triggers happen. Alright, opponent sends it all in. Alright, so this goes here. And this goes here. And now I need my Auriok champions. Scroll Celebrant can go here. Scroll Celebrant can go here. Oh, no, it can't. Okay. It can go there. I'll take the rest. Oh, fuck, I have to place these on the stack. That's bad. A new hidden stockpile. Alright, so I activate one of these. I'll sacrifice a Blood Artist. Yeah, I think I just get clocked here. That's a shame. It is a testament to what my deck is able to do that I am still alive through this board, and that I am at 29 life. My opponent also just does have a billion things. We are in need for a Moto restart before the next game, though. That's for sure. All right, and we'll time out here. But what a ridiculous game! Like, that was a lot of fun. Womp 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 womp. GG, opponent. GG. Okay, I think this is round 5 now. I'm gonna keep this hand. It doesn't have a sacrifice outlet, but other than that, it has a lot of things going for it. I think I can just go ahead and get a Plains on one and maybe avoid taking damage off Godless Shrine at some point in this game. All right, Wooded Foothills, Stomping Ground, pass. Sure. We'll pay 2 life here. I'm going to just attack in and then play Hidden Stockpile. I think my opponent has held up Lightning Bolt. So they'll take 2. Then I'll just play Hidden Stockpile so that I don't expose Cruel Celebrant to Lightning Bolt. I think we got a free shock. We got a free shock for playing the way that I did. Which is sick. What is this? Prowess. An ability of a shaman or wizard you control triggers. That ability triggers an additional time. Okay. Cool. So let's go land. Cruel Celebrant. Garrison Cat. Do I just want to attack in? I end up with more creatures on the board if I attack in. I think I will do that. Yep, they just take it. That's a shaman. Okay, I don't know exactly what's going on the other side of the battlefield, but it's kind of cool. This feels like the sort of deck that will just like combo kill me. Mana Dork, sure. Oh, Carrion Feeder is a sick draw. I'll play that. Godless Shrine can be played tapped. I'll play my cat. I will go ahead and attack in with both of my X1s. I want to attack in with this and get it double blocked. Okay, sure, you block that. And so I will just sacrifice it. Put those on the stack. Carrion Feeder gets bigger. You'll take 1, and then I'll make a servo. Okay. That's a lot of triggers. Burning Tree Emissary, sure. Oh, that's a lot. Also, is my opponent just dead to triggers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, they're not just dead to triggers. 6 mana, though, off a 2-drop is pretty sick. That's like Cabal Ritual with threshold levels of value. That's a draw 3. That's an Ancestral Visionary, not an Elvish Visionary. All right, new land. Okay. Their spells are cheaper. Okay. Put a +1/+1 counter on each other shaman creature you control. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter attacks, you may have it deal 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Okay, that's pretty sick. Oh, fuck. I think I figured out what their deck does. Luckily, I am very good at chump blocking, as we established last round. I also probably bleed my opponent out next turn. Okay, no attacks. The second main phase, I want to sacrifice at least 1 creature so that I trigger Revolt for Hidden Stockpile. Okay. Lightning Bolt targeting Cruel Celebrant. That's really good. How deep do I go? I go at least a little deep. For sure, I at least do that. Always yield to this. So I can drain my opponent 3 more times right now if I'd like. That would put them to 7. Man, that Lightning Bolt is so good. Actually, I can put them to 6 if I sacrifice the Celebrant as well. And or 5 if I go Carrion Feeder. I can go pretty deep. What if I Hidden Stockpile and Scry and try to use that to know how deep I should go? I don't want another Carrion Feeder. That card doesn't block. I want like a Return to the Ranks. I think I need to try and drain my opponent out here. So I'm gonna go all in. So let's sack the Human Soldier here as well. And no, I can't. Yeah, I guess now I could sack the Carrion Feeder to itself, but it's better to just sack the Celebrant. Okay. Opponent's at 6. I have a creature that can poke them. I need another thing that drains. Oh shit, I should have upkeep stopped. I was going to do it right there. And didn't quite get around to it. So I can crash in for 7 and then likely die on the crackback. Yeah. Okay, let's crash in with the Carrion Feeder. I'll at least see what my opponent does. Okay, they're going for a triple block. I think it will be worth it to sacrifice my spirit and kill 2 of these creatures. By spirit. Alright, so kill those. Play tapped Godless Shrine. Make a servo. And pray. I could just die this turn. That's a lot of triggers. Yeah, that's 4 sets of +1/+1 counters on all my opponent's stuff. I believe that'll just kill me. Like, I'll block 9. Oh, geez, there's more. Okay, yeah. Alright, alright. But just to see, let's draw a card and see what my top card was to see if I had scryed properly what I've gotten there. Not really. Okay. I like the idea of Auriok Champions. I think Priest is not great here. I think that's my easy sub, and then the next question is, like, do I want Path to Exiles? Kinda do. Let's get those in. Maybe trimming a Hunted, or no, it's the cat that's the worst. Maybe trimming 1 cat, 1 Blood Artist. Okay, like, I have a Return to the Ranks and a Sack Outlet. I'll be keeping this hand. I think since I am going to, like, very much need white this game, I am going to be shocking myself at least once. Maybe twice. Go Carrion Feeder on turn 1. Ignoble Hierarch. A reasonable play. What's my play? I think Cruel Celebrant. I'm not sure what I want to do with this land. I'm going to get Godless Shrine accordingly. Like, I have multiple different ways I could want to multi-spell in the not-too-distant future. I just want to draw a land next turn. I can go, like, Blood Artist, Doom Traveler, do some sacking, attack in for a ton with Carrion Feeder, and then go to town. Alright. There's that trigger doubler. Ooh, Auriok Champion. I think it's too important to start playing to the board more. Lightning Bolt on that. Yep, I mean, that's happening. Cannot save it. I do have a replacement one. That's the good news. So I'll get a new Carrion Feeder, and that'll be turn. Let's see how bad this turn is. All right. Well, my opponent is going to play some cards. Okay, that's fine. That's less fine. Ancestral Visionary is a strong magic card. Please don't do more. Okay, that's fine. Okay, because of the Exalted, my opponent can crash in. Honestly, I think this card is worth more life later. Maybe no blocks. Maybe no blocks this turn. Yeah, I'm a little limited in terms of mana here. Let's play Auriok Champion? Question mark? Like, Blood Artist is more on-board life gain, but this represents life gain in a different fashion. And I'm just gonna hold everything back defensively. Like, I'm on the back foot here. Alright. Damage report. Bad. Bad is the answer. Like, I can always... Alright, I need to always yes to this. I can't always yes to this right now. Okay, that's fine. And always yield to these. That's so much power. Wait, what is this? Oh god. I forgot about that part. YouTube. Is this bad? Is this what bad looks like? Because I think this is what bad looks like. From those triggers alone, I am basically dead. Like, I go to 1. So, like, that has protection. Not trading with... Oh, no. Carrion Feeder can't block. I guess I can block like this. And I need to gain a couple of life. I can sacrifice Doomed Traveler. And okay. Alright, well, I guess let's turn off auto yields, and then the next time that triggers, I can hit always yes to it. Alright, so now I am at 3. I am currently taking 3, so I need 1 more drain to happen. I'll sacrifice that spirit. Do the same thing. Right, now I stay alive. I don't think return to the ranks and save me here. Like, the Rage, what is it? Rage Forger trigger happens, and that just gets me next turn. Holy crap. That was an impressive deck. Okay, so we ended up 1-4 in this league. This deck didn't feel that bad. Like, by no stretch of the imagination do I think that, like, this is one of the better things that you can be doing in Modern, but, like, we were playing competitive, grindy Magic. Overall thoughts on the deck list. We never cast Lurrus in this league, although I think I am good with the existence of Lurrus in this deck. There were a couple of situations where, like especially in the humans match, where if I had had just like a single more mana, it would have become very, very, very good. It felt like we were half a turn too slow versus some of the faster decks. Maybe there's a way to increase the goldfish speed of this deck, but this was fun. Maybe Priest of the Forgotten Gods doesn't quite fit in because you're like looking to not necessarily grind people out over time with Priest and be like this controlling deck, but you're looking to kind of get them dead via like jump blocking and then sacrificing stuff. Maybe that could become something else. I'm not 100% sure. But like this deck was very enjoyable to play. Although if you want short rounds, like maybe this isn't the deck for you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to see more Modern, Legacy, and Vintage content, please consider doing so. Have a great rest of the day, and I hope you're enjoying this post-Modern Horizons 2 world.